Hello, it's me. How are you? I have yet another channeled message for you. I was doing this breath work, and doing breath work is a regular part of my wellness practice. And something in me just wanted to do a longer breath work. Sometimes in this app that I use, the breathwork sessions can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. This was a half-hour long breathwork session. It can be pretty intense when you are doing the breathing. And then after that, I did a 20-minute somatic yoga. And this is something I wrote last night. And so the topic of this is, if you have been thinking about them, reach out. I'm going to give a little example. One of my pastors at this church I used to go to, her name is Marcella. I call her Pastor Marshy for short. And whenever I think about someone, usually I don't really, and if it's someone I'm on good terms with, especially, whenever I think about someone, I usually don't think. I just text them or I just call them. And what's really interesting, really intriguing, is a lot of times I'll call someone and they'll say, "Kora, I was just thinking about you." And I'll say, "I know, I felt it. That's why I called."
Yeah.
And sometimes these people will say, "Kora, I've been thinking about you for like weeks." And I will just challenge them and say, I'll say,
Let's say.
"Why didn't you say anything?" And I think a lot of times they don't know. They say, "I don't know. I don't know. I think about you a lot and I hope you're well, but I feel like you're too busy." I'm like, I literally don't work. Or I tell them, like, I don't work. And I'm just like focused on my next chapter in life. And like, I'm like, also like, if someone's that important to you, like, no one's gonna be too busy. There are people I know. There are people I know on red carpets who will answer the phone whenever you call. No one is too busy. And so if you've been thinking about someone, just reach out. Just reach out. And it might be really scary, and it might take a level of courage, depending on who the person is, especially. But I reached out to Pastor Marshy, and she said, "Kora, I've been thinking about you." I was like, "Yeah, let's get lunch." We used to go to the same church. I think she's on to another new church, and I'm still looking for a home church. I've on and off have been having my thing with church. But even reconnecting with old friends, here's what I wrote down. It might not last forever. So I've had, there's been instances of some friends that I've had where, for a certain time or place, like there was a reason why we were friends, like either in the proximity or circumstance, or maybe we just like chose to be friends. And, you may not be friends forever, and nothing bad could have happened. For example, like I had a really cool circle when I was living in Idaho, but I just don't live in Idaho anymore. And I made a video about unfollowing people on Instagram, and it's not always a bad thing. Like there's some people I don't follow on Instagram, but sometimes like we just are on the phone and we'll chat for like an hour. But like we don't follow each other on Instagram, and because of that, it's like you can't put certain things into play you have to kind of find out for yourself and find this reality for yourself, in whatever way it does for you. For me, this is one of the ways I do it for myself and for the collective. Reconnect with old friends, yeah, but it may not last forever. I reconnected with a friend in Iowa, and we were reconnected for a few months, and I think we were friends for a while, and then we went like a year not talking, and then we reconnected for like a few months, and then we met up in San Diego, and we went to the beach and just like laid in the sand, and I cut the cord. I did. And it wasn't a bad thing, it just wasn't aligned anymore. But does that mean like it's gonna be like that forever? Probably not, honestly. Probably not. We might reconnect, and it might be really cool. And there may not even be a need for like an apology, like I'm sorry I blah blah. And just like it just is what it is. Some people can be in alignment, and we constantly change as humans. We constantly change as humans. Whoever you were, an old version of you 6 months ago, even a week ago. When I did this breath work, I'm gonna link it. I really wanna link it. I want you to do this breath work. Lay down, put some headphones on, put this on. You change as a human. The person I am now and the person I was this morning before I did that breath work, and the insights and the things that I worked through, this is real work. This is therapeutic work that you are giving yourself through just your breath. Headphones, and that's all you're doing. You're laying down, eyes closed, just breathing, meditating. We're never going to be fully aligned with any one person forever, and that is okay, and that is almost by design. I think I'm really glad I learned a lot of these kinds of things now, and I've seen the realities of this planet, of this world, and just how humans are, and I've really forgiven myself, especially like the things I had done in the military. What I'm essentially saying is people are changing. People change always, and you may reconnect with people, and you may fall out, and then you may reconnect. But if you've been thinking about them, just reach out, because chances are they might also be thinking about you. And if there's been a pause, either been days or weeks, I've even heard of instances decades. I have been in plant medicine circles entire lifetimes, and people can come back together for a reason, a season, you know, and it could just be for that karmic need, and then you might just part ways, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It doesn't have to be bitter at all. It just is what it is. And I have learned in my past and things like that, it's probably not personal. Like, it's probably not personal. And you can't fall out of love with people, ever. No, that love will always be there. And what else do I want to talk about? I am having some full circle moments. There was a movie I watched, and it was before my senior year of high school. And it's called Beautiful Creatures. It came out in 2013, and I was a teenager. I was 16 at the time of watching this movie. And it's essentially, the whole plot of this movie is essentially it's Twilight in the Deep South, in South Carolina. And I remember a few things when I was watching that movie, where the main character, his name is Ethan, dreams every night about this person. Oh, there's just a smell outside that just, I think someone's smoking weed, but it's not good weed. Anyways, where was I? The main character was Ethan. Oh my gosh, stick with me here, please. And he dreams about this girl, this person, and then they end up meeting with each other in the movie. And she's like a magical woman. She's a caster. She casts spells. And I was wondering if that would ever happen to me. And it's really interesting because I did have that, or I dreamt about this person. And then I met this person first day of my senior year of high school. And we became best friends. And that was my first love. And when people go their separate ways, I was wondering if I was ever gonna have that again. And then I did. I've had this about 3 times, for sure 3 times. Other times have been like, I'm not too sure, but for sure 3 times in my life. And it's so intriguing to have something like that, where in the movie he's like, I dream about this person, and I know, it's like I know everything about them. It was really interesting with this second person. I made a whole play about this, and I give all the context. I'll probably link that as well. The point of this channeled message, okay? If you've been thinking about them, reach out. This will come full circle, okay? Stick with me. In the movie Beautiful Creatures, there is a book that is featured, this poetry book. Charles Bukowski, you get so alone at times that it just makes sense. This is what I will be currently reading. Let me look at how much time I've been talking. 12 minutes. Okay, this is the book I have been reading lately. I might do a book review at some point. Let me put the viewfinder away. So I'm looking at the camera. I'm not looking at the screen. It's a great movie. You should watch it. It made me cry. Like, I had some like real interesting teenager feelings. And a lot of it went full circle. And I did this breath work today. And I'm thinking, a lot of this is kind of giving me this push to reach out to someone I haven't spoken to in person. Here, I wrote this down. Frick. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. I just want to preface, a lot of my writings, I hold the pen, or I just have the typewriter and I hold the pen and I click it, and the pen almost writes itself, and the words will just come. I have all my journals and all of my trip notes. For example, this, okay, let me get my viewfinder again. This was at the beginning of 2025. No, it wasn't. This was September 22nd at 2 a.m. September 22nd is the day before my birthday. My birthday's on September 23rd. Oh, God. I guess this was included when I got these from storage. And then I believe, was this until the beginning of 2025? This was September till essentially the end of 2024. Wow. And then this was March 2025. This, oh boy. This journal, yeah. Lots of stuff in here. And I have these little steno pads, legal pads. This, oh, hello. All this is stuff from my second time doing ayahuasca. Holy cow. And I just have a lot of stuff written in here I've wanted to reread. Like, I have a lot of like saved little marks when you take a tap, like the corner, and you fold it to make a triangle. April 4th, trip report, 1 p.m. Going to take 150 milligrams of MDMA. We'll take ketamine on the come down. My heart is stuck on 2 people. Yep. Oh my God. Oh. And I wrote this down before I sent a text to this person. Can someday we talk? Someday. When you are ready, can we talk? Can we catch up on our lives? I still think about you. And I really hope someday, when we're both evolved, we can see each other and see our evolved selves. I still just want to be your friend. I hope you understand, Kora. And I flipped to this page, and what's hilarious is what I said was I was going to reach out to someone when I did that breath work. This is that person I sent that text to. So it's like, okay. Wow. And then this is another journal I have from when? August 13th. And then this is when I did a mushroom retreat, November 21st of 2025, last year, in Temecula. And this is just all the, I mean, I am a writer. I am a writer's writer. And I think, Kora, when are you going to take all these things that you've written, all these ideas, all these stories, when are you gonna make it real, Kora? When are you gonna put it into something to share with the world? And then for 2026, this year, I did another mushroom retreat that I hosted with me and a couple friends in this house in Santa Monica. It was a really gorgeous house. I know I'm really sidetracked. These are what my videos are going to be like. And so much life has been lived. So much life has been lived. So much life has been lived. These are just blank, so I'm gonna use these sheets for my typewriter. This is pre-flight notes, May 8th, 2026. I did Changa that weekend. I just felt the call to go to Tucson. And I went to Tucson, spent time with my best friend Alexis. And Changa is essentially the ayahuasca herbs put into a bong, and there's like ice in the tube, and so you essentially smoke ayahuasca. So instead of drinking it, you smoke it, and you just really come up. You have this crazy experience. Yeah. And then On the 8th, so today's August 15th. On the 8th, which was last weekend, I did another mushroom ceremony. I really enjoy this kind of stuff. I really enjoy it. I love this is my way of really connecting to spirit. There's a window. Connecting to spirit, connecting to God. Lionsgate portal, so these are my notes that I had. I know the point of the video here, okay, was reach out. And I just feel like a lot of this stuff is helping give context. And I feel like a lot of this stuff, whenever you do these channeled messages and whenever I listen to these channeled messages, not everything is going to resonate with you. But I would say a few things might resonate with you, and because of a few things that might resonate with you, they may hit really, really deep. And so, you click on this video and you stick with me for 21 minutes, and you listen to something, you're like, whoa, like I need to hear that. So, us as spiritual practitioners, we can be found in churches, hospitals. You can find us in the gym. So this is something with the path of music. I know this path of music is the right path. I wrote this while really, really high on mushrooms. I know a more financially free future is ahead of me. I know better people are waiting for me to be friends with me. One sec. I know better people are waiting for me to be friends with me. I know love will find me on the right frequency. I am just tuning myself higher to the place and to the point that I want to be at. I have been sharing my story, sharing my truth. I am also creating many beautiful things into this world. Finally, I put these requests into the universe, but I will just see and receive everything I need to help me on my soul journey. There's my little packing list I made. I took 5 grams of golden teachers. Yeah. Woo! Woo! Just give me a sec here. Just give me a sec.
You're probably taking it. Okay.
And so as crazy as it is, when I jumped through that Lionsgate portal and over this spring and summer, my life has just been very, very, very simple. I've decluttered a lot of just belongings, just a lot of stuff, really decluttering. Even people in my life just really have taken a step back in communication. I mean, especially during the recent Mercury retrograde in July, I just didn't really reach out to people because I was just really taking that Mercury retrograde just to use that as a portal. Mercury retrograde and Cancer portal, just to really shed, really shed just like old people and old situations. And you know what was really interesting when I took these 5 grams of mushrooms on Lionsgate portal is there is this person who I was just reading about in that one journal entry in that black journal. That person just kept coming up a lot. Oh, like and
Sure.
I can't explain it at this point, and it makes me really emotional, and I don't know why. But I don't want to shove it away, and I don't want to push it down, and I just really have these really deep feelings for this person. And I was so ashamed for it because I thought, like, is this like not okay? Is this really inappropriate? And I really wanted to be respectful, like but I took these 5 grams of mushrooms, and of all the people I've shed, and all the people I've let go of, this person was in that with me in that ceremony in spirit. And it was like when I was coming up on the mushrooms, for me it's kind of like climbing a mountain. You know, you're at baseline, and then you have this mountaintop experience, and you're just like have this bird's eye view of your life, and you have this moment with God or like with spirit. And I came up and I got to my spot. I peaked, and I got to the top of the mountain, and there she was. And I was like, how did you get up here? I was like, what are you doing here? Got 4 more minutes until the memory card has to. And so I wrote this. My handwriting's really, really, really crazy. But I said, hello, my dearest. I hope you are well. I'm in San Diego. It's been a little over a year since I lived there. It's a lot different. What I'm probably saying. It's a lot different for me in my life. I think what I'm trying to say is that I'm sure we're both a lot wiser than who we were when we met. I've crossed paths with people, I'm sure you have too. I'm headed in a new direction in the arts, and I hope you continue your direction in the arts, and that's essentially how we met, was through that. If someday our paths crossed again, I think it would be really cool, and I would be so grateful if it ever did happen.
Same.
I like you. I liked you a lot. I think I still do. I think I always will. And you just might come across people in life like that.
Awesome.
You might just come across people like that. And it's just, you might just come across someone at the most random time, and it might be the most crazy thing. And when you're 23, you know, your life gets changed, and it wakes you up, and it wakes up your spirit, and you make a lot of changes, and you head in a new direction in life. And here you are now at 25, almost 26 years old. September 23rd is coming up, and I'm going to turn 26. And
we got you too.
I'm really at a dilemma. Okay, I have like 40 seconds left. I'm really at a dilemma because, like, what do you do? What do you do when you have something like this that's driving you insane? Almost. You go to therapy about it. You go to therapy about it, and it's like, I'm gonna let this memory card go through.